I bought Bitcoin on a dare in 2012 and forgot about it.
Today we're jumping into this really fascinating story. It popped up on Reddit.
Right?
It's titled, I bought Bitcoin on a dare in 2012 and forgot about it.
Yeah, that's the one. Pretty eye-catching title.
Totally. So our mission today is, well, to unpack this kind of accidental fortune, see what it tells us about, tech, maybe luck, memory.
Exactly. It's amazing how, a moment of just youthful impulse, right? And then time passes and it becomes something else entirely.
It's not just about the money, is it?
No, not at all. It's about the mechanics behind it, how that value just shifted so dramatically, basically unnoticed.
Okay, so let's dive in. Let's go back to 2012. We've got a broke college sophomore, ramen noodles, the whole stereotype.
Right. And his roommate, Trevor, is apparently always talking about cryptocurrency and decentralized finance.
Which back then sounded like what?
Well, according to the post, sci-fi BS. I mean, you have to remember, 2012, Bitcoin was really fringe.
Okay, so there's a drunken dare involved.
Yep.
After maybe a few too many drinks, Trevor dares him, or maybe insults him into it. Anyway, he buys $50 worth of Bitcoin.
$50. And Bitcoin was what, $5 or $6 a coin then?
Around that, yeah. So he gets 8.5 coins, something like that.
And he puts them where?
On some janky wallet app, he calls it, downloaded onto an old Toshiba laptop, which, really paints a picture of the early days. No fancy apps, no sleek interfaces.
And the password. This is maybe the best part.
Yeah. Butts 123. Memorable, I guess.
Definitely memorable. And then?
Then, basically, life happened. He had an econ midterm, stressed about that, and just completely forgot he even owned any Bitcoin.
Wow. Okay, so fast forward how many years?
11 years later. So now he's 32.
And life looks pretty different.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Married, has a kid, a cat with IBS, apparently.
Oh, the clamor.
Right. Got a mortgage, a job as a data analyst for a frozen food packaging company. Sounds stable.
Stable, maybe a little mundane. He mentions having about, $472 in his checking account most weeks? Yeah, pretty relatable for a lot of people juggling adult life.
So this sets the stage for the big moment, the rediscovery. How did that happen?
Okay, get this. Ants.
Yeah.
He had an ant infestation.
Seriously?
Seriously. So he's doing this massive deep clean, getting into old boxes, and boom, he finds the old Toshiba.
The legendary Toshiba. Was it even working?
Well, he said the battery was swollen like a balloon, which, yikes, that's not great. But he plugged it in, more out of nostalgia than anything else, he says.
And miracle of miracles.
It actually booted up, took forever, 20 minutes apparently. But it worked. And he logged in.
With Butts 123.
You guessed it. Still remembered it after a decade.
Amazing. And then he saw it.
Right there on the old Windows desktop. An icon, Bitcoin wallet. He clicked it.
Heart pounding, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. He opens it and there's no second password prompt or anything, just the balance. 8.5 Bitcoin.
Just sitting there. And he has no idea what that means in today's money.
None at all. So he does a quick Google search for the price of Bitcoin and basically almost faints. That $50 dare, that forgotten wallet, it was worth over $900,000.
$900,000.
Yeah.
From $50 in Butts 123.
It's just wild. It really shows you the crazy exponential side of some of these early tech investments, before they hit the mainstream.
So, okay. He sees nearly $1 million on his screen. What happens next? Panic.
Total panic. He said he spent 48 hours in a fever dream before he could even tell his wife.
I can't even imagine. What was her reaction?
Her first words were apparently, "Please tell me this isn't a prank."
Fair enough.
Totally fair. But nope, it was real. So they talked and decided to cash out about half of it.
Which must have been life-changing.
Oh, completely. Paid off the mortgage, paid off both their cars, set up a college fund for their daughter, instantly erased a ton of financial stress.
Wow. And the other half?
They moved it to a new, much more secure wallet. Smart move.
Did, tell everyone, buy Lambos.
Huh. No, actually, they kept it really quiet. Didn't tell any friends. And he says their life is still pretty normal. They still go to Chili's, watch The Bachelor.
So money didn't fundamentally change them?
Seems not. He just says life feels lighter now. Which makes sense. That financial cushion must be immense.
It really sounds like pure luck. But is there a takeaway beyond get lucky? Especially for people interested in tech and investing?
Well, luck is definitely huge here. You can't deny it. But it's also kind of an extreme example of the power of long-term holding, right? Even accidental holding. It's the polar opposite of frantic day trading. Just holding on.
And forgetting.
And forgetting, yeah. Sometimes the best strategy is doing nothing, apparently.
Okay, but we have to talk about Trevor, the roommate who started it all.
Right, the irony. So the original poster, look him up.
Okay.
Trevor is now, wait for it, a Web3 developer down in Austin.
Of course he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably knee-deep in crypto and blockchain, likely did very well for himself, and almost certainly has zero memory of that drunken dare from 2012.
While the guy he dared is sitting on a small fortune because of it.
Precisely. And the poster ends his story with this kind of funny, crude thank you to Trevor for the best insult anyone ever gave me.
That's incredible. What a story. It really does highlight how unpredictable tech adoption can be. And yeah, the sheer power of holding on, even if you don't mean to.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the nature of value, about timing, and maybe about what other forgotten things, digital or otherwise, might be out there.
Like digital buried treasure. This deep dive really shows that sometimes, yeah, the biggest wins can come from where you least expect them. Like an old, dusty laptop.
For sure. So maybe the question for you listening is, what hidden gems, what overlooked opportunities might be lurking in your own past, in your own digital attics?
Definitely something to think about as you go about your day.
Got drunk and confessed my love to my girlfriend's identical twin.
Okay, let's unpack this one. Have you ever made a mistake that was just so monumentally embarrassing?
Oh, yeah.
So cringeworthy, you just wanted to, like, evaporate?
We've all been there. Maybe not this bad, though.
Right. Well, today we're diving into this raw, anonymous Reddit post. The title kind of says it all. Got drunk and confessed my love to my girlfriend's identical twin.
Wow. Okay.
So our mission here is to see what insights we can pull from this very public, very personal disaster.
It's fascinating, really, how a few seemingly small choices, maybe some underlying feelings too, just snowballed into this huge relationship mess.
Yeah.
So our guy, he's 26, dating Kara for about 8 months.
Okay.
And Kara sounds great. Amazing, sweet, really organized. The post says she drinks oat milk lattes, alphabetizes her spices. You get the picture.
Totally, the organized one.
Exactly. But then there's Emily, her identical twin. And she's described as Kara's, quote, chaos version.
Huh. Love that.
Shows up with glitter on her face, maybe a flask in her purse. You know, the type.
I think I do. So the setting for this particular brand of chaos, Emily's birthday party at their apartment.
Right, at his and Kara's place.
Yeah.
But Kara had to leave early. Family emergency.
Okay, so he's there. Kara's gone.
And then comes the absurd artisan vodka. He specifically mentions skulls on the label.
Oh, boy. And he admits he doesn't really drink much, right?
Yeah, critical detail. So things get fuzzy. There's singing Mr. Brightside on the couch, apparently some flaming shots.
Oh, dear.
And then the moment he blurts out, I think I'm falling in love with you.
No.
But he says it to Emily, the twin, not Kara.
Ooh, straight to Emily.
Straight to Emily, which, you know, immediately makes you wonder what happens when you get that drunk.
Yeah.
Do hidden truths come out?
No.
Or is it just a massive, massive mistake?
Or maybe a bit of both.
Could be. Emily's reaction sounds like a mix of horror and amusement and pity.
Yikes.
And she immediately calls Kara.
Of course she does.
And then our guy. He apparently threw up in the punch bowl.
Oh, come on. Just adds insult to injury, doesn't it? A final messy flourish.
Pretty much seals the deal on the disaster level.
It really feels like a classic case of alcohol just stripping away the filter. But you mentioned underlying feelings. Do you think his cowardice, as he calls it, about not saying I love you to Kara before all this, was that playing a bigger role? Like maybe a deeper fear there?
That's a really sharp point. I mean, the post does suggest he was already wrestling with saying it to Kara.
Right.
So the drunken confession to the wrong twin, maybe it wasn't totally out of nowhere. Maybe it was like pouring gasoline on an existing smoldering issue he hadn't dealt
A
with.
catalyst.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the most, I think, gut-wrenching part, Kara's reaction. After Emily tells her, she just quietly says to him, you've never told me you loved me.
Ugh. That hits hard.
Yeah. That silence, that unsaid thing he admits he was a coward about. Subtly, it's right there. Devastatingly clear. It really shows how these big blow-ups often just expose the cracks that were already there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So zooming out, what's the pattern? This isn't just like a funny, awful story. It feels like a lesson. Alcohol lowers the gates, and bam, unspoken emotional stuff comes rushing out.
Especially the stuff you've been actively avoiding.
Right, and often with really immediate, really explosive results. He feels like he nuked my relationship in under 5 seconds. A hard lesson that waiting too long to say important things, well, it can backfire spectacularly.
Especially with Skull Label vodka involved.
Definitely don't mix cowardice and artisan vodka.
So what's the takeaway for you listening? I mean, this whole situation, it's a pretty stark reminder, isn't it? Relationships can be fragile. Small choices or one big drunken one can have huge ripples.
Yeah.
It really highlights that gap, knowing what you feel or maybe should say versus the fear of actually saying it. Right. And how something external, like getting way too drunk, can just force that confrontation.
It's a potent mix, isn't it? Timing, courage, or lack thereof, and just unpredictable consequences. The message seems clear. Don't wait for a crisis or a twin or a bottle of vodka to say what needs saying.
Exactly. So maybe consider this. What unspoken feelings might you be holding on to? Are you waiting for some perfect moment? This story kind of suggests maybe don't wait too long. Think about how tackling those emotions head on might prevent your own version of a ruined Thanksgiving forever scenario.
A sobering thought indeed.
I threw away my dad's old guitar, but accidentally left a Stradivarius.
Okay, let's dive into a story. It's one that really makes you stop and think about what we value, and maybe more importantly, what we just throw away.
Right. That whole process of cleaning out a loved one's place after they're gone, it's heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's this weird mix, isn't it? Grief, duty, sometimes finding things you never expected.
Usually just, clutter.
Yeah.
But not always.
Not always. And this story we're looking at today, it's from a Reddit TIFU thread that's Today I Fed Up, for anyone wondering.
Oh, yeah, those can be wild.
This one is truly fascinating and deeply ironic. It's all about hidden value, overlooked treasures, and the real cost of just assuming things.
Okay.
So our mission here is to unpack that tension, right, between the actual monetary worth of something and its like immeasurable sentimental value. What does that teach us about legacies?
Interesting angle. Let's get into it.
So the story starts with the son. His dad recently passed away, and he's got the job nobody wants, cleaning out the garage.
Right. And the dad sounds like he was a quiet guy, loved music, played in a folk trio back in the 70s, apparently just sort of noodled on instruments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the garage, amidst all the usual stuff, there's a pile of instruments.
Okay, what kind?
2 old violins, a broken mandolin, and his dad's acoustic guitar. But this guitar was really beat up.
How bad are we talking?
The son described it, I think the quote was, looked like it had been through 3 wars, said it had this musty smell, definitely didn't look like anything special.
Okay, so not exactly a family heirloom at first glance.
Not at all. And that first impression, well, it turned out to be profoundly wrong. He basically saw all this musical stuff as junk, smelling of regret and cigarettes, he said.
Oof, that's harsh.
Yeah. So, practical decision time. He takes that old guitar, the one that probably meant something sentimentally, and just tosses it.
Into the dump.
Straight into the dump. With a load of other stuff he was clearing out. It really shows how quickly we can dismiss things, right? Especially when we're overwhelmed.
Definitely. But he didn't toss everything. You mentioned violins.
Right. He paused there. One looked cheap, like a toy, but the other one, it was different. He described it as heavier, old, kind of weirdly ornate.
Okay.
So he kept that one. Why? His reasoning was, it might look cool on social media, Instagram vibes.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay. A choice that sounds like it might have paid off differently than he expected.
Oh, you have no idea. This is where it gets wild. That night, he opens the case of the violin he kept, just casually looking at it. Mm-hmm. And inside, through the F-hole, those F-shaped openings on a violin.
Yeah.
He sees this tiny label, barely readable. It says, Antonius Stradivarius Cremonensis Fossibat Anno 1717.
Whoa, Stradivarius 1717.
Exactly, his first thought. Fake Strad? Everyone's grandpa thinks they have one?
Totally understandable reaction. So many copies out there.
Something made him hesitate, maybe just a tiny seed of doubt.
Okay, so he didn't just put it back.
No, he started Googling. Fell down the rabbit hole of how to tell if your violin is a real Stradivarius.
Right. And what did he find?
He found that, tons of fakes exist, but there are about 600 or so authentic Strads still around, and some are actually unaccounted for.
Okay, that's intriguing.
So intriguing, he decided to email some photos to appraisers. Just on a whim, almost.
And what happened? Did they just ignore him?
Get this. Within 48 hours, 2 different appraisers were basically begging him to bring it in.
Whoa. Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah. So a week later, he's in Boston. There's an expert, woman with white gloves, the whole deal. She examines it.
And the verdict?
Authentic. 1717, Stradivarius.
No way. Are you serious?
Dead serious. Yeah. And the estimated value, somewhere between $8 and $12 million.
Million. With an MI. Wow. Just
Wow.
from the garage junk pile.
Unbelievable, right? And the story behind it, the provenance, they call it.
Yeah. The history of ownership.
His dad had inherited it from an uncle who apparently found it during World War II in a half-burned manor in Belgium. And crucially, no paperwork. It was totally off the radar.
So that explains why no one knew. But the dad must have known something.
Here's the kicker, the ultimate irony. His dad always thought it was a fake.
Seriously.
Okay.
He had a multi-million-dollar violin and thought it was junk.
Yep. That's why it was just sitting there in the garage, next to the beer fridge. Neglected. He thought it was worthless.
That is absolutely staggering. Hidden in plain sight because of an assumption.
But wait, it gets worse. Or, well, more complicated, heartbreaking, really.
Oh no, what now?
About a week after the Stradivarius discovery, his sister calls him.
Okay.
She asks if he found a specific letter. A letter their dad apparently kept hidden inside the body of the guitar.
Inside the guitar. The one he threw away.
The very one. She mentioned their dad talked about it, said it contained what matters most, and told her something like, "If I go suddenly, check the guitar."
Oh my God, don't tell me.
He never knew. Never thought to check inside that beat-up old guitar he'd dismissed as junk. He'd literally thrown his father's final words as emotional closure into a landfill.
Oh, that's gut-wrenching. Absolutely gut-wrenching.
The guilt he feels is immense. He chucked the one thing his father truly valued, that letter, while keeping the multi-million-dollar object his father thought was worthless.
Wow. That perfectly captures that tension you mentioned earlier. The monetary versus the sentimental. Mm-hmm. He found incredible wealth, but lost something, maybe more precious.
Exactly. His dilemma now is huge. Sell the Strad, set up his family for generations, but live with the feeling that he totally betrayed his father's memory, tossing out the thing that really mattered to him.
Man, that's heavy. It really forces you to ask, doesn't it? What is truly valuable in our lives and what we inherit? Mm-hmm. Is it the object you can sell? Or is it the stories, the connections, the stuff you can't put a price on but can so easily overlook?
It's a powerful question. And maybe a final thought for you listening. Yeah, this story is a wild reminder to maybe check things twice before you throw them out. Sure.
Definitely check inside old guitars now.
Right. But maybe more importantly, it's about seeking out the hidden stories, the feelings, the messages from the people close to us, before it's too late. What treasures might be waiting in your own family's history? Not ones measured in dollars necessarily, but measured in real meaning.
I accidentally sent my spicy dance video to the school parents chat.
We're your shortcut to understanding some of the fascinating, sometimes surprising, and honestly, hilariously relatable bits of modern life.
Definitely relatable today.
Yeah, today we're diving into a digital mishap, a real classic from Reddit's TIFU. That's Today I Fed Up, for anyone not familiar.
Yeah.
It's where people share their, public blunders.
Right. And our mission here is to unpack not just the immediate chaos of something like this, but also explore how these intensely private moments can just accidentally spill out.
Spill out into very public digital spaces.
Exactly. It's a pretty stark reminder of how thin that line is between your personal digital self and your public one.
Okay, let's get into it. So our main character here is a 36-year-old mom. She works from home, trying to find a bit of me time.
Which is hard enough.
Totally. And she finds it on YouTube with something called Sensual Flow with Cassie. Now, think less high-impact cardio and more like part choreography, part striptease. It's designed to boost confidence. Heels, floor moves, hair tossing.
Yeah.
Basically finding her inner Beyonce.
And what's really interesting is how she's tracking it. She films herself, selfie mode.
Ah.
Yeah, not just to learn the moves, but to see her progress. Mm-hmm. She wanted to go from, her words, awkward flamingo to actual temptress. It's a very modern way to work on yourself, very visual.
So you've got this private kind of spicy dance world happening. Mm. And then on the other side, there's the totally mundane digital space, the school parents WhatsApp group.
Oh, that group. We all know one.
Exactly. Usually just for Announcements, bake sale reminders. In fact, she just offered to make cupcakes, so that chat was left open on her phone.
And that's the danger zone, isn't it? That everyday digital stuff, the things we do on autopilot, can suddenly become the stage for our biggest embarrassments.
And this is where it all just collides spectacularly. Right after her workout, she's still in the sports bra, the, quote, ridiculously tiny dance shorts.
Yeah.
She grabs her phone, the plan, send the video to her best friend, Ashley. Caption, try not to die laughing lamau.
Okay, standard best friend stuff.
But that open school parents chat.
Yep. I see where this is going.
That's exactly where the full 2 minutes and 13 seconds of her trying to straddle a chair like some bootleg Magic Mike extra ended up.
Oh my God. The whole thing.
The whole thing. And the fallout. Instant. Her phone starts, as she put it, vibrating like it was possessed.
Only imagine.
Messages flooding in. I think that was meant for someone else. Then the penny drops. Horrifying realization.
And the panic sets in. Did she try to delete it?
She tried hit delete for me, which we know only deletes it from your phone.
Right, not for everyone else.
Yeah.
Especially after WhatsApp's tiny delete window.
Missed the window.
Yeah.
Gone forever. And then she sends this voice note. Just pure panic.
Oh, what did it say?
It was just like, crap, how do I, oh God. And then apparently just screaming into a pillow. You can almost feel the migraine of the soul, as she called it.
Wow. Okay. So the reactions in the chat must have been something.
A real mix. Some parents were, super chill, sympathetic. A couple of dads just left the chat immediately.
Rancored.
Then you got the crying, laughing emojis. Someone sent a gif of Regina George clapping slowly.
Oof, brutal.
But the killer. A private message from the PTA chair, Janine. Always wears beige turtlenecks, apparently.
Oh, that archetype.
Yes.
Just said, perhaps in future, check which chat you're posting to.
Ouch. That passive-aggressive politeness cuts deep. It really shows that kind of judgmental underbelly of these online groups sometimes.
Totally. It's worse than outright anger somehow.
Yeah.
She made her husband do school pickup for a while, still gets side glances. One dad calls her Shakira.
Oh, dear. Well, at least it's memorable.
Memorable, yeah. But here's the contrast. Her best friend, Ashley, thought it was hilarious and actually gave her positive feedback on her hip isolation.
See, that's a good friend. Someone who can laugh with you but also, affirm you amidst the chaos. That's invaluable when you've had a digital faceplant like this. So true. You need that anchor. So what's the takeaway here? Her final decision was basically to lean into it.
Right.
She figured embarrassment is eternal, but dance confidence is forever. Might as well become a suburban legend.
And that's really the core lesson, isn't it? It's funny, yes, but it's also a potent reminder of how fast our digital walls can just crumble.
Yeah.
It highlights the weird permanence of these fleeting digital moments, especially when platforms like WhatsApp, meant for one thing, accidentally become, public stages. Which raises a question for everyone listening, really. How do you navigate that blend of personal and public online? And how do you cope when those lines get blurred?
Yeah, and her choice to lean into it, that's powerful. It goes against that urge to just hide, Okay. It suggests maybe owning our digital slip-ups, even embracing them can build a different kind of confidence. Resilience, maybe, in this always-on world.
Exactly. It's about finding resilience in unexpected places.
Definitely something to think about as you navigate your own digital life.
My mom told my wife all about my sins to break us up. Turned out it was all a lie.
Okay, so imagine your life is, humming along. Solid marriage, 6 years. Met over a book, a Murakami book, actually, kind of serendipitous. And then suddenly it all just, it cracks. Today, we're really diving into a listener's story. It's incredibly personal. It's about betrayal, but not from, an affair or something outside. It's from inside the family, shockingly. This story, it really challenges everything you might think about trust. And control, too.
Yeah, what's fascinating and honestly pretty disturbing here is how insidious the whole attack was. Our sources, and it's mainly notes from the guy himself, they detail how his own mother just methodically built this case against him, fabricated these really shocking sins just to, destroy his marriage. And we're talking specific stuff, but totally false.
Yeah.
Accusations of infidelity, right? 3 different times. Said he was involved with a coworker, someone in the gym he'd literally never met. Even, get this, someone from Reddit. Yeah. And on top of that, claims of secret bank accounts he didn't have, debt that wasn't real, drinking problems he doesn't have, and the really, really heartbreaking one, lying that he regretted marrying his wife, Emily.
Oh, man. That's brutal. So the immediate fallout, What did that look like?
Devastating is probably an understatement.
Yeah.
Emily, his wife, she didn't yell or have a huge fight. She just looked quiet, heavy, really disappointed. And she believed the lies. They were so detailed.
Believes them enough too?
Enough to move out that same night. Took the dog.
Yeah.
Left him just reeling, feeling like the bad guy, feeling like an idiot, and like a victim all at once.
So our mission here today is to kind of explore the anatomy of that betrayal. It's profound. And the gaslighting involved, that's key, isn't it? The mother claiming she was just worried.
Exactly. And gaslighting, it's not just lying, right? It's manipulation. It's systematic.
Yeah.
Designed to make you doubt your own memory, your sanity even, basically turning your reality against you. It's incredibly damaging.
So thinking about the listener, what does this all mean for you? Especially if you're navigating maybe tricky family stuff or just thinking about trust?
Well, stepping back a bit, this story really shows immense courage. Not just confronting the lies, but how he did it. He fought back against emotional manipulation with facts, hard evidence. He actually made a binder, called it the Please Believe Me binder.
A binder, seriously? Like with tabs and everything?
Literally, filled with receipts, text message logs, his credit reports, even confirmations from his HR department to disprove the work affair claim. It was crucial. It shows how sometimes you need that systematic, documented proof. It might be the only way to cut through that kind of gaslighting, especially when someone's trying to make you doubt reality itself.
That is quite something. A Please Believe Me binder. It's almost bureaucratic for such an emotional wreck. What did Emily do when he showed her this binder? And what did the sources say about, rebuilding that sounds incredibly hard?
Oh, it wasn't an instant fix. Not at all. It was a process. Emily, and she was open about having her own trust issues from the past. She was initially just overwhelmed. But the binder wasn't just paper. It showed his desperation, his innocence. It allowed her to even start considering reconciliation.
Okay, so it opened a door.
Exactly. And beyond that, the sources talk about how tough rebuilding is. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. They're in couples counseling now. It's described as awkward, definitely raw, apparently sometimes even weirdly hilarious, like you got a nosebleed during an eye contact exercise.
No way.
Yeah. But things like that, those moments of just raw humanity, they broke the tension, reminded them they're just people trying to heal. They also mentioned moments in therapy, like practicing active listening and realizing just how much resentment had built up unspoken. Those small, uncomfortable breakthroughs, that's the real work.
So the real takeaway isn't just about the betrayal itself, maybe, but about that insidious control dressed up as concern. And he had to make that call, right, to block his mother completely.
Yeah, a really difficult decision. He realized her goal wasn't his happiness. It was more like she wanted him miserable because she thought she knew better who he should be with. And he said, that kind of betrayal from your own mother, it cuts deeper than any breakup.
Absolutely.
Which brings up a big question, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
When the threat, the manipulation is coming from someone you're supposed to trust implicitly, inside the house, so to speak, how do you even start to tell what's real? Yeah. How do you separate truth from that deep manipulation?
Right. And what does it really demand from you? The emotional effort, the courage to rebuild your life, redefine your family, when the person who rocked your foundation was someone you never, ever expected.
I bought a cosplay costume and wore it, not knowing it was from spicy content.
That really shows how easily we can misunderstand things, especially, when you're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, the account you shared is, wow, it's quite something. It's a perfect storm of good intentions meeting zero research.
Right. A masterclass in unintended consequences. So our mission here is basically to pull apart what happens when assumptions just crash head on into reality.
And how not doing a quick Google search can lead to, maybe one of the most embarrassing moments of someone's life.
Okay, so the setup. We have this guy, 34, trying to kind of break into the convention scene, meet people.
Wants to connect.
Yeah. And his friend, Travis, suggests, hey, you should wear a costume. Our guy knows basically nothing about anime, cosplay, any of it.
But he decides to just, what's the phrase, commit to the bit?
Exactly. Which, sometimes works out, sometimes not so much.
And this is where the commitment bias kind of kicks in, right? He's already decided he's doing it, even before spending money or knowing what he's getting into. And then comes the purchase. He finds this costume on a dodgy-looking cosplay site.
Never a good sign.
It looked cool, though. Red leather, shiny black straps, a futuristic visor thing.
Okay, visually striking, I guess.
It was called Elite Commander Venus X.
Yeah.
And he just assumed it was from some, obscure sci-fi anime.
An assumption, doing some heavy lifting there.
Totally. He drops $89.99 on it. Thought it was an investment.
$89.99. Wow.
Right.
That's believing in the bit. It's that illusion of knowledge we see sometimes. You see a picture, make up a story, and suddenly the price feels okay.
So the costume arrives. He puts it on, and the first clue, maybe something's off. It fits like it was sprayed on with a very pronounced crotch area. He just figures, oh, well, anime fashion, right?
Rationalizing away the weirdness. Classic.
Then the Uber ride to the convention, the driver, totally silent for 20 minutes. Just silence.
Oof, that's a loud silence, isn't it? A huge social cue just missed or ignored.
Completely ignored. He walks into the convention center and bam, heads turn instantly. But not in a good way.
No, like a collective side eye, as he put it. Someone apparently choked on their Mountain Dew.
Oh my God. That's vivid.
Then this girl comes up laughing and asks, "Oh my God, is that from Galactic Domination 6?
Okay, so someone recognized it, sort of.
Yeah, but our guy, still clueless, just smiles and goes, "Yeah, classic anime, right?"
Oh no. Oh, the cringe. The girl probably just stared, right? Like processing the disconnect.
Totally. That confused look. So finally, he's sweating, feeling weird, and he Googles Elite Commander Venus X.
The moment of truth. Finally.
And his phone screen just floods with, well, NSFW thumbnails.
Yep, there it is.
Turns out Elite Commander Venus X wasn't fighting aliens. She was from an entire adult film franchise using other kinds of weaponry.
Oh dear, so not sci-fi anime at all.
Not even close. And apparently the character was kind of viral in certain quarters of the internet. Extremely memorable.
Which explains the instant recognition and the choking. This is why you vet your sources or, your costumes. The internet gives you context instantly.
So 15 minutes after arriving, a staffer comes over. Very polite but firm. "Sir, you'll need to modify the costume or step outside." And then, the kicker, "Sir, your ass cheeks are completely visible from behind."
Oh my God, the full picture. Literally.
He just sprints 6 blocks in these squeaky pleather boots he mentioned.
Squeaked all the way out there.
The CVS buys a $10 hoodie, uses it as a, quote, makeshift dignity diaper.
A dignity diaper. That's a resourceful in a moment of sheer panic. Wow.
He trashed the costume immediately, texted his friend Travis, "Next time I'm coming as Luigi." Safe choice.
Much safer. Probably less. Aerodynamic, though.
But the story doesn't end there. Someone got a full-body picture.
Of course they did.
It ended up on TikTok. A cosplay cringe compilation got 48,000 likes.
Viral again, but for the wrong reasons. The digital footprint is forever.
Even his sister shared it asking, "You good, bro?"
Ouch. Family weighing in. That's rough.
So, the hard-earned lesson, straight from the source. If you don't recognize the character, don't wear the costume.
Or at least Google it. Before you spend nearly $100 and, scar a room full of strangers.
Definitely. So what's the takeaway for everyone listening? This whole deep dive, this story, it just hammers home how vital it is to check your sources, understand the context.
Yeah, it's not just about avoiding, epic public embarrassment, though that's a good motivator. It's about knowing what information, what image you're actually putting out into the world.
Right. It applies to so much more than cosplay.
Absolutely. Which kind of leaves you with the question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What subtle details or, unverified assumptions might you be carrying around right now?
Yeah, things you've just accepted without really checking.
Exactly. Just waiting for their own, maybe less dramatic, but still awkward, viral moment. Something to think about.
Thanks for being with us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.